Hi, I'm Michael. Take a seat and I'll tell you about Arctic Scavengers 2015 edition, including HQ and Recon by Rio Grande Games. In this game, the players are leaders of tribes in a post-apocalyptic ice age. They're fighting over control of resources in order to grow their tribes. Whoever has the largest tribe at the end of 14 rounds wins. Each player's tribe size is worked out by counting the numbers at the bottom left of all their cards. The game is a deck builder, meaning all players start with the same basic cards. Then, over the course of the game, they'll add new cards to their discard piles along with the cards that they play. And when they run out of cards in their deck, they then shuffle their discard pile, which becomes their new deck. Each round, players draw new cards, and then the first player, called the Initiator, gets to look at the top card of the contested resource deck, which is awarded to the winner of the skirmish. Then players take turns to play cards from their hand, starting with the Initiator. Their cards might enable them to draw more cards from their decks, dig through the trash for new cards, or hunt for food that can be used to recruit new mercenary cards. The other action they're likely to have showing on their cards is fighting. This is used in the skirmish. Starting with the third round, once all the players have finished playing their cards, you then have the skirmish, where players reveal what is left in their hands, and whoever has the most fighting wins the skirmish and takes the top card from the contested resources deck. Then the Initiator passes to the left and you start a new round until the end of the 14th round, which marks the end of the game. The art in the game has a cold starkness to it that fits great with the theme and helps to immerse players in the world. Component wise, all the game is cards and a couple of boards, which are all decent quality. The only other thing is the plastic insert that does a good job of keeping all the cards organised. This is one of my favourite games and possibly my favourite deck builder for many reasons. I really like that the game has a fixed length of the 14 rounds, which means it never overstays its welcome or feels like it's over too soon, which can happen with some deck builder games. Due to the skirmish, the player interaction is much higher than many other deck builders in this, and it's not relying on nasty take that cards in order to achieve it. It's coming from bluffing and social interaction and trying to figure out how the other players are gonna play. Are those free cards they're holding brawlers or refugees? You can just never be sure. This means you need to pay attention to other players' turns, and if they're buying lots of fighting cards, adapt accordingly. As with most deck builders, the level of luck in this game is very high with lots of random card draws, but for my taste, this is very balanced with the choices of what cards you add to your deck and also by the bluffing I just spoke of. As for scaling, well, two can play that game, and I still really like it at 2 players, but the game really shines with 3 or more, as the 2-player variant loses some of that bluffing and the Initiator doesn't get to look at the contested resource. The base game on its own can feel a bit stale after around 10 plays or so, as you've always got the same mercenaries, contested resources and junk cards. However, throw in the expansions and this is no longer a concern because they greatly increase the replay value. Each of the expansions is modular, so you can choose to add whichever bits you please. HQ gives you the option of 2 new mercenaries, new junk cards, and then also 3 new mechanisms. Leaders, which for me is a must add, and give each player a unique power. Buildings, which will take time to construct and give you extra abilities. And gangs, which add endgame bonuses for meeting conditions. Again, a must add for me. Recon then adds even more of everything. Leaders, gangs, buildings, junk cards, contested resources, 8 new mercenaries, and new refugees and scavengers. With all of that extra stuff, there's also new rules for looking through the various decks and also being able to stop players doing so. The modular nature of the expansions is great because it means that the game starts nice and simple and easy to learn for new gamers, while still being interesting for experienced gamers, And then as the players get more used to it, you're able to gradually increase the complexity. So in summary, I highly recommend Arctic Scavengers, especially if you enjoy deck builders and want one with increased player interaction and the ability to gradually increase the complexity. Okay, I do hope you've enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you have, please do check out the rest of the videos on the channel, as well as subscribing and sharing to the channel. And as always, thanks for watching, and bye for now.